Okay, this is second semester exam review part 4, concentrating on questions 91 through 120. Again, this is helping you get the right answer in a multiple choice situation, not teaching concepts. So please keep that in mind. Remember, you can slow me down, pause me, speed me up, whatever you need to. Listen to it more than once, and feel free to come in and ask questions if you need to. All right. Find the standard form of an equation of the parabola using the given information. So as always, I'm going to sketch it. So my focus is at 1, -4. So that right there is my focus. And then I'm told my directrix is at 5. So I have a directrix like this. Well, that's enough to tell me my vertex has to be halfway between. Halfway between 1 and 5, of course, is 3. So my vertex is 3, -4. So I should have x minus 3 in my equation. I do not have x minus 3. I do not have x minus 3. B and D both have x minus 3. The next thing is I know it has to go like this. Okay, focus has to be inside the curve, and that means my y is squared, and therefore the answer has to be B. Okay, all right, 92. Convert the equation to standard form of parabola by completing the square. So I'm going to keep all the x's on one side and take everything else to the other. So that's x squared plus 2x plus blank equals 10y minus 31 plus blank. So half of 2 squared is 1. And this becomes x plus 1 squared equals 10y minus 30. So in looking at my answers, D doesn't have x. Well, neither one of those have x plus 1. And so the difference, you can tell that they factored out the 10, but it's minus 30. So that means that A is our correct answer. All right. 93. Now 93 says graph it, and you can go put that equation into ClassCalc, but I'm a little worried you might not see the nuances of the difference. Okay, so I think it's faster to do this. My vertex is at 1, -2. So I'm going to go look at each graph. Is this 1, -2? No, it's not. Is B 1, -2? Yes, it is. Is C 1, -2? It's not. And D is 1, -2. So there's my vertex on both of those. The next thing I need to graph it is my p-value. And 6 is equal to 4p, so p is equal to 1.5. And when you graph it, that means my focus is up 1.5. So if I go up 1.5, and then I'm going to go over and across 3 in each direction, because the total length from here to here has to be 6. And if you look down at this one, you can tell that that's more than 6. And again, if you don't know anything, if you don't know enough, you might not realize the difference between these two, or how you can tell, or you can plot it in and see. So the correct answer for this one is B. All right, 94. We got an archway again. So I have a bridge built in the shape of a parabolic arch. The span is 146. Half of 146 is 73. So I'm 73 on both sides. And the height is 15. And what do they want to know? Find the height of the arch 15 from the center. So 15 from the center, they're trying to find out what this point is right here. Okay? So first off, I have to write that equation. If it's up and down or vertical, then I know my x squared. My vertex here, y'all, is right here. It's going down. So the vertex of this parabola is 0, 15. So that's x minus 0 equals, it's going down, -4p times y minus 15. Oh, I hit that, y'all. It's not 15, it's 40. My bad. That's a 40 because my vertex is at 40. This number is 40. I got this is the point 15 comma, I don't know. I'm going to be looking for it. Okay, so in this particular problem, I'm going to go plug in this point right here. And this point is 0, comma, nope, it's not 0, comma, it's 73, comma, 0, which means if 73 is squared, negative 4p, and y is 0. Okay? So when you solve that equation, y'all, you get that p is equal to 33.3. So I'm going to go back here. X squared equals, when I multiply that by 4, I get negative 133.225. So this is the equation of my parabola. And they're asking me what the y value is when I plug in 15 for x. So if you plug in 15 right here, then you get the equation 225 equals all of this mess. So 225 divided by negative 133.25 is negative 1.689, just to give you a step in between, see if you're solving it correctly. And when you add 40 to both sides, you'll find out that the height is 38.3 feet, which is answer B. All right, moving on to parametric. Okay, we just have to find the coordinates of the point. So that means I'm taking t and I'm going to plug it in to find out what the I don't plug it in right there. Go away. I plug it in here. So x equals 2 cubed plus 2. 2 cubed is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. That doesn't have 10. That doesn't have 10. Then I've got to find y, and y is 7 minus 2 to the 4th, which is 16, and 7 minus 16 is negative 9. So my answer is A. Okay? Here, I'm supposed to eliminate the parameter. So in this case, I'm going to take the easier equation and solve it for t. So that's x plus 1 over 2 is equal to t, because I add the 1 and divide by 2. And I don't see anything like that in here, so I'm actually going to write this as when I put it into the other equation. So I'm taking this, and I'm going to go plug it in for t right there. So I'm going to have 1/2, and I'm doing it because I see the 1/2 like this. So this whole thing is squared. So all I did was rewrite x plus 1 over 2 to 1/2 x plus 1, and I square it, and that equals 7. Okay, now if you can look at that, y'all, I hope you can tell that that's no way possible for that to be A or C, and it's not negative, so it can't be D. So the answer is B. But you would multiply that all out. You got to remember to square the 1/2, and we've done this a lot today, so hopefully, or in these videos, it looks like that, plus 7. So 7 plus 1/4 is 29/4. So that's just showing you and verifying that that is actually the answer. Okay, on to sequences and series. 97. Find the first 4 terms. First 4 terms mean I'm going to plug in n equals 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when I plug in 1, I get negative 1 to the 1 plus 1 times 1 plus 5. Well, 1 plus 5 is 6. Negative 1 quantity squared is 1. So the first term is 6. So that's gone and that's gone. The second term, one of them says it's negative 7. One says it's negative 14. So I'm going to go find the next term. Negative 1 times 2 plus 1 plus times 2 plus 5. Well, 2 plus 5 is 7. So I know the answer has to be A. It is negative A. Excuse me, negative 7, because negative 1 cubed is negative 1. Find the first 4 terms of this sequence. It's a recursion formula, y'all, and that says when you get a term, just multiply the previous term times negative 2 to get the next term. So my first term is negative 4. Well, that knocks that guy out. Multiply that by negative 2, and I get 8. Knocks that guy and knocks that guy, so my answer is C. Find the first 4 terms of this sequence. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 to the first over 1 plus 3. Well, 1 plus 3 is 4 factorial. Okay? Now, if you need to, y'all, 3 to the first 3 over 4 factorial. If I'm putting a fraction, I'm going to start with that. So 3 over 4 factorial is 0.125, which, of course, is a fraction of 1/8. So that knocks this guy out and this guy out. Now, when you look at these two, y'all notice that these two terms are the same. So I'm going to skip to the third term, which is going to be 3 to the third over 3 plus 3, which is 6 factorial. So that's the next one I'm going to do. Hit enter. I have a fraction, 3 raised to the third over 6 factorial. Again, gave me a decimal. I'm going to change it to a fraction, and I get 3 over 80. So which of those has 3 over 80? And my answer is B. All right, 100. Evaluate the factorial expression, but notice there are no numbers in here, so I've got to remember what factorial means. And the bigger one is on the bottom. So the bottom is n plus 3, and then you subtract 1 from that. Well, subtract 1 from 3, and you get n plus 2, and that's what I see on top. So I have n times n plus 2 factorial. Those are the same thing on the top and the bottom. So my final answer is just n over n plus 3, and that is C. All right, 101. Okay, y'all, this is just plugging in, but a lot of people miss this on our test. This thing means to add up all the terms, okay? So you can go plug in 4 times 2 is 8 minus 3 is 5, okay? 4 times 3 is 12 minus 3 is 9. 4 times, so I'm just going from 2 to 5. So you can do this, okay, and plug in and then add those numbers up. But I want to show you that you can go to calculus in class calc, and there's a symbol. I forgot to hit enter after that problem. So go to calculus, hit the summation symbol, okay? N is 2 to 5. And what is my term, my expression inside my parentheses is 4 times n minus 3. And if you can't find the n, y'all, if you look up on your phone, up here near the top, it says ABC. So you just click ABC, and then you will be able to type in an n in your actual calculator. So I'm looking for an answer of 44, which is A. So this problem, answer is A. All right, this time we're going backwards, okay? Now, when you do this, the thing that's, you're looking at these, this goes from I equal 1 to 13. And it looks like I'm going 1 to 13, but this second term says 1/2. But if I were to change that to 2 over 4, then my top would be 1, 2, 3, all the way to 13. And my bottom would be 3, 4, 5, all the way to 15. And that is A. Okay? No. Okay. All right. 103. Still doing sequences and series. So this says find the first 5 terms. Again, a recursive formula. Okay. That means take the term before it and subtract 6. So negative 20. Well, that's the first term. So those two are out. Minus 6 is negative 26. Boom. The answer is B. Find the sum of the first 45 terms. So y'all are most likely going to want to go ahead and write out all 45 terms. And you can, but I'm not going to. Because I'm going to use the formula of S sub 45. S sub n equals n over 2 times the first term plus the last term. So I got to go find the last term. Well, A of 45 is the last term, and that equals the first term plus 45 minus 1. So it's the first term plus n minus 1 times d, and my d is what I'm adding every time, which is 2. So if you plug all that in, you find out that the last term is 90, and when you plug that in your calculator, you find out that the answer is 2070. All right, 105. All right, this one says find a sub 150 if the first term and the last term is, no, first term is a 11 and the common difference is -3. So my formula is a 150 equals the first term plus n minus 1 times the common difference. So when you plug that in your calculator, you're going to get -436. All right, use the formula for the sum. Again, y'all, I'm going to go use class count on this. Okay, I don't want to write out 38 terms. So I hit enter to get a new one. You can go edit that one either way, but I want to remind you calculus sum. Okay, what's that bottom number in our problem? Our bottom number is 1. Our top number is 38. And I'm going to my expression and I'm going to type -5n. And you got to use n because that's what class calc has, even though it says I on your paper. Minus 4, I get -3857, which is answer A. All right, 107. A brick staircase has a total of 12 steps. The bottom was 100, okay? And just to help myself, each successive step has 4 fewer ones. So then it's going to be 96 and then 92. So you can list that out 12 times if you want to. But as I said, most people make mistakes. But instead, I'm going to go find the last step because I'm going to use the formula I just used above. So the 12th step is going to have the a sub 1 plus 12 minus 1 times d. And my d is going down, so it's -4. So a sub 12 is 56. So my formula of the first 12 terms or 12 steps is going to be n of 12 over 2 times the first term plus the last term. And when you put that in your calculator, you're going to get 936 bricks. 108. If this given sequence is geometric, find the common ratio. Okay, y'all, if it's a geometric sequence, then I'm multiplying or dividing by the same number every time. So I can tell I'm not adding the same number every time, but am I multiplying? Can I multiply anything by 2 and get 5? Well, 2.5 is 5 times 2.5 equal to 8. And it is not. So this is not a geometric sequence. Okay. You could also take 1/5 over 1/2 and see if you get the same thing when you do 1/8 over 1/5. Either way. All right. 109. Write the first 5 terms. Again, this is a recursive, which says take the previous term, multiply it by 4. So the first term is -4. Well, it gets rid of those two. -4 times 4 is -16. So that means my answer has to be B. 110. Use the formula, find a sub 11. Okay. And if I have R, y'all, it's geometric. So a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. A lot of people forget that minus 1. So a sub 11 is the first term of -3 times my r value. Better put in parentheses if it's negative. And then 11 minus 1. Okay? And when you plug that in, you're going to find out that you get -177, 147. So there's your answer. All right. 111 says write a formula for the general term of the geometric sequence. Well, there's the geometric sequence. So what's my first term? My first term is 7. A is good, B is good, C is not good, and D is good. And now I need to find R. And R is -14 over 7, which is -2. And that's not what that says right there, so that one's out. Okay, so it could be B or D, and the difference that everybody's going to mess up on is you got to have that -1 in your exponent. So the answer is D. All right, 112. What does they want us to do? They want us to tell you whether it's geometric or arithmetic. And if you can't tell by looking at it, y'all, just go plug in. Plug in 1. 1 squared is 1 times 3. So 3 minus 2 means the first term, a sub 1, is 1. A sub 2 means go plug in 2 for n. 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12 minus 2 is 10. Go find the third term. 3 squared is 9 times 3 is 27 minus 2 is 25. Okay? So, did I add the same number? 1 plus 10? 1 to 10 is adding 9, and I don't add 9 and get 25. So there's no way that this is arithmetic. Geometric, did I multiply? 1 times 10 is 10. 10 times 10 is not 25, and so it's not geometric, and your answer is neither. I did not add the same thing every time. I did not add or subtract the same thing, or multiply and divide by the same number every time. All right, basketball player signs a contract. He has a starting salary. They want us to know what his salary is in the 8th year. Well, that's the 8th term of a geometric sequence. So the first term is 830,000. My R, okay, this is where people are going to mess up, is 1.04. And that is raised to the n minus 1. So when you plug that in, you're going to get 1092223. And the only one that is close to that, you got some more numbers of decimals, but that's your answer. All right, 114. Find the common ratio. Okay, so if I got to find the common ratio, I need to list the terms. So I'm going to do the first term is 2 to the first, and then 2 to the second, and then 2 to the third, and 2 to the fourth. So we're supposed to determine if it's arithmetic or geometric. Well, I am multiplying by the same thing, everything. So it's not arithmetic. I am multiplying by what number am I multiplying by? 2. So my answer is B. Find the sum of the infinite geometric series if it exists. So our formula for that is S equals A over 1 minus R, but R has to be less than 1. So R is equal to negative 1/2 over 2. So if I take negative 1/2 over 2, I'm actually going to get negative 1/4. So that, of course, is less than 1. When I say less than 1, absolute value of it. So you can, the fact that it's 1/4 is less than 1 means I can finish this problem, and it does exist. So A is my first term over 1 minus, and this is where some people, they mess up because they just forget that negative sign, y'all. So that is 2 over 5/4, which gives you an answer of 8/5. You can put that in your calculator. All your calculators can handle that. All right, almost done. Binomial theorem here. All right, so on the binomial theorem, when we expand it, the easiest way was to use Pascal's triangle. And we want the row that has the second number of 3. So it looks like this. And remember the first term, so I'm going to have 1 times x to the third plus 3 times x squared times 3 to the first plus, this one I usually did parentheses, y'all, 3 times x to the first times 3 squared, and then plus 3 cubed. So more importantly, you know you have this row of 1, 3, 3, 1. I hope you have clearly knocked both of those out. Not possible. So now I have to decide between C and D. And my second term here is 3 times 3, 9x squared, which is what I have here. So my answer is D. 117, find the first 3 terms. Okay, so the first term is 1 because it's all dictated by here. First term is 1, and then I'm at a 9. If you don't know what that next one is, if you don't create it, this is 9 choose 2. because this is 9 choose 0, this is 9 choose 1, this is 9 choose 2. And 9 choose 2, okay, is 36. If you want to know where that is in class calc, under stat, 9 choose 2, so I've hit 9, 2, and I get 36. Okay? Or you can go create Pascal's triangle. So similar to what I did up there, I'm going to have 1 times x squared to the 9th plus 9 times x squared to the 8th, and then 2 to the 1st plus 36. So all terms have x to the 18th first, but this term is 9 times 2, which is 18. Okay, that knocks out this guy right here and here. So those, nope, not that one, this one, excuse me. All right, and then 36 is x squared to the 7th and 2 to the 2nd. And 36 times 4 is 144, so my answer has got to be C. All right, find the term indicated here. All right, so this is our Cranberry Rule, y'all. Okay, again, this is my N. So my Cranberry Rule is NCR A to the N minus RB to the R. So to apply it here, that's 11C7. Nope, it's not 7, because if I'm looking for the 7th term, it's R. R is 1 less than that. Okay? So it's 11C6, and then it's x to the something, and 2y is the same as r. So that's to the 6th power, and 11 minus 6 is 5. Now, when you're looking at this, y'all, you can go punch it all in if you want, but this is enough to say my y has to be to the 6th power. So that knocks out that one, and that one, and that one, and my answer is A. But you can plug it all in and verify it if you want. All right, 119, excuse me. Lisa has 5 skirts, 7 blouses, 3 jackets. How many 3-piece outfits? This is the fundamental counting principle. 5 times 7 times 3 is 105. And 120. How many 2-digit numbers can be formed using those digits? If you cannot use a digit more than once, I have 10 choices for the first one, 9 for the second one. So my answer is B. And that's all we got for part 4. Thank you for watching. One more part.